everyone, welcome to Fong's Fables. Let's start the story. I was basically the company lucky mascot. My boss liked me so much that he created a chill, made-up position just to keep me around. Life was good, flexible hours, easy work, and a fat paycheck. Then disaster struck. A new manager parachuted in. The dude was a hardcore materialist and couldn't stand the sight of me being this comfortable. He wanted my position for his little side piece, so he started making my life hell while the boss was off the grid in some mountain retreat. My cushy job turned into a 9 to 10 grind overnight. I figured I'd just tough it out until the boss got back and set things right. But this guy was ruthless. Literally the day before the boss's return, he went on the company intranet and blasted me for taking bathroom breaks longer than 5 minutes, calling me lazy and irresponsible. Public humiliation. I was so pissed that I rage quit on the spot. Then I smoothly slid into a rival company that was about to go under, the same one my boss was planning to acquire. When my mom was pregnant, my uncle, who's big into Chinese astrology, calculated that if I was born on a specific day, I'd bring wealth and prosperity to my parents. My mom was so dedicated to this that she refused to go to the hospital even when labor started early. But I had other plans. I popped out 2 days ahead of schedule, completely missing my chance at being a rich second-generation baby. My uncle checked my birth chart and consoled my devastated parents, saying, "Don't worry, this kid's got the laborer destiny. She'll make her own fortune." My parents were not comforted. They looked at me with the kind of pity reserved for stray dogs. Turned out my so-called laborer destiny was being a corporate mascot. When I first applied to the company, things weren't going well for them. The boss suspected bad feng shui and brought in a master to check it out. After looking around, the master straight up told him, "The feng shui's fine. Problem is people." The boss freaked out, thinking there was a corporate spy or something. But no, the master pointed at several high-level executives and said their birth charts clashed with the boss's, messing up the company's luck. Problem was, these weren't random employees, they were top executives and shareholders. Firing them would basically mean shutting the company down. Just as the boss was losing hope, I walked in for my interview. The master took one look at me and went, "This girl attracts money." Then he checked my birth chart and near smacked his thigh in excitement. Not only does she attract wealth, but she can neutralize all those bad clashes in the company. You need to keep her. I was standing right there, thinking scam alert. No way this wasn't some elaborate new age fraud. I was about to nope out of there when, out of nowhere, a longtime client who had been ghosting the boss suddenly showed up and signed a massive deal on the spot. The boss took this as undeniable proof of my money-attracting powers. I still thought it was dumb luck, but he was so convinced that he made up a whole new job for me, sales contract assistant. The role? Just being present when clients visited. Salary? $5,000 a month plus commissions, full benefits, no clocking in or out. That's how I became a glorified company lucky mascot. And I stayed there for 6 years. Over time, the company grew bigger, my paycheck got fatter, and my reputation as the company's lucky charm only grew stronger. I genuinely thought I'd stay there forever. Then, half a month ago, everything changed. The boss decided to expand again and promoted the old sales director to CEO of a new branch. To replace him, he brought in a high-profile hire from abroad, Zachary. On his first day, the boss personally introduced me and told him, "Don't make her do any real work. Just make sure she's in the room when deals are happening." Zachary smiled and nodded. The second the boss left for another 2-week retreat in the mountains, Zachary flipped the script. He called a department meeting and basically roasted me in front of everyone. This girl is a fraud. She tricked the boss into believing she brings good luck and is just leeching off the company. I was about to throw hands right there, but my coworkers, bless them, secretly tugged at my sleeve under the table. "Don't give him what he wants. He's trying to get rid of you before the boss comes back." Fine. I swallowed my rage. The next day, I strolled into work at my usual leisurely time, only to get a notice from HR. You were 3 hours late. Your day's pay and monthly attendance bonus are docked. Oh hell no. He was messing with my money now. HR tried to comfort me, saying, "Don't worry, when the boss returns, you'll get it back." But I was fuming. My coworkers, seeing my sour mood, started showering me with snacks. Within an hour, my desk looked like a buffet. Linda, one of the sales leads, whispered, "Hold on until the boss gets back. He'll make Zachary apologize." I sighed, sipped my free bubble tea, and sulked. Then Linda shoved her phone into my hands. "Forget Zachary, help me call this client. I've been trying all day and can't get through." I lazily hit redial. Ring, instantly answered. Linda's eyes lit up. She snatched the phone back and started buttering up the client, throwing me a thumbs up. 6 years in, everyone in the company had accepted my role. First, they were skeptical, thinking I was just some overpaid good luck charm. But then weird things started happening. 1 year in, I got bored and begged the boss to transfer me to research and development. He finally agreed. The moment I left sales, several big clients randomly backed out of deals. The sales team kept it from the boss at first, thinking it was just bad luck. But no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't win the clients back. When they finally caved and told the boss, he yanked me right back into sales. The day I returned, one of the lost clients, who was literally on his way to sign with a competitor, had a minor car accident. Shaken up, he turned around and signed with us instead. From then on, even the most skeptical coworkers believed in my supernatural luck. Even my boss, who originally had some different ideas in mind, started treating me even better after that incident. Except, he absolutely refused to let me go back to the Resurrect department no matter what. I was freaking out. I had no sense of security in my current company lucky mascot role. And it was obvious, both my boss and coworkers could see I was itching to leave. That entire month, they took turns convincing me to stay. The sales team went all out, hunting down clients, closing deals, even targeting the ones ranked in the top 100 most difficult customers list. If they couldn't get a meeting, they had me cold call instead, and somehow every single call led to a signed deal. That month, the company hit a new record in performance. It was a win-win-win. Boss made money, salespeople got commission, and my salary went up. So yeah, after that, I just settled in at sales, enjoying the perks, eating, drinking, chilling. No complaints from the boss, no complaints from my coworkers. But then came the new sales director, Zachary. This man caught me coming in late that morning and docked my pay. Now he walked past my desk, saw a drama playing on my screen, and immediately made a U-turn. He frowned, knocked on my desk, and said, "Watching dramas during work hours is not allowed. You didn't know that?" I took off my wireless earbuds, looked up at him, and said, "Sorry, what did you say?" "I didn't catch that." His face went dark. "One more time watching shows at work, $40 deducted. 3 strikes and you can resign on your own. I don't tolerate lazy employees under me." He said this so loud that my coworkers, who had been secretly watching, got nervous. Meanwhile, I was pissed. I shot up from my seat and confronted him. "My boss allows me to watch shows. He hasn't said anything. What gives you the right to deduct my salary and warn me?" Zach smirked. "Because I'm your direct superior. As long as you're in the sales department, I have the authority to manage you." A coworker spoke up in my defense. "Zachary, Leela is different." Zachary immediately cut them off. "No one is different. No one gets special privileges here. If everyone in sales slacked off like her, how would the company grow? You have time to defend her, but not enough time to call more clients? Get back to work unless you want to starve." That one sentence pissed off the whole office. Someone muttered, "Leela is just quietly watching a show, not bothering anyone." Another chimed in, "If I could be a company lucky mascot too, I'd be even more arrogant than her." Another agreed, Seriously, if you drive my lucky charm away, I'll fight you. Zach heard the whispers but couldn't pinpoint who said them, so he yelled, "Who said that? If you've got a problem, say it to my face." A few hot-tempered coworkers were about to stand up and argue. I saw where this was heading. Zachary was clearly trying to stir shit up. And I didn't want my coworkers, who didn't have the boss's backing, to get themselves fired as an example. So I swallowed my anger and let him deduct the money and issue the warning. Seeing me back down, Zachary looked pleased. "Don't let me catch you slacking off again. Since you have so much free time, help sort out those documents before the end of the day." He pointed at Ting's desk, which was stacked with unfinished files. Ting was caught off guard and gave me a look of despair. I mumbled, "That's a whole week's worth of work. How am I supposed to finish by tonight?" "Damn you, Zachary. Absolutely impossible." Ting helped me for 2 hours before I forced her to go home. I stayed behind, grinding through the paperwork, thinking, just you wait, Zachary. When the boss gets back, I'll make you slap yourself 3 times and apologize in tears. So he wants me gone? Not happening. 3 strikes and I'll be forced to resign? Let's see who lasts longer. But looking at the remaining mountain of paperwork, I felt my soul leaving my body. I used to spend my evenings lying in bed, gaming with friends. Now, I was here, drowning in documents with my stomach growling in protest. I decided to go downstairs for some ramen before continuing the fight. Instead of taking the long way through the main entrance, I cut through the underground parking lot. There was an exit right next to the noodle shop. But as soon as I stepped out of the elevator, I spotted Zachary at the entrance. On instinct, I quickly ducked into the stairwell. Then it hit me, why the hell was I hiding? I could just ignore him. But since I had already dodged, I peeked out and saw him glancing back at the elevator, confused. Just as I was about to sneak away, I heard a sickly sweet male voice say, "Babe, did you wait long?" I froze. A young, delicate-looking guy ran up and threw himself into Zachary's arms. I watched as Zachary gently stroked his face and smiled. "No worries, I'd wait for you forever." My brain short-circuited. Wait. Zachary has a wife, doesn't he? Then the guy asked, "Babe, what's this job you found me?" And Zachary, all smug, said, "It's an administrative position in my department. No real work, you can leave any time, still get paid, and even take a cut of the sales commission." Oh shit. This is aimed at me. The guy was thrilled. For real? When can I start? Zachary smirked. Not yet. I need to get rid of someone first. Hearing that, I clenched my fists. Zachary went on, "That idiot only got the job because she tricked the boss with some fake mystic nonsense. Once I kick her out, I'll just hire a fake fortune teller to do the same thing and the boss won't care. So that's why he was after me." I hurriedly took my phone out and snapped a video of the both of them. This was straight-up corporate backstabbing. I lost my appetite. Instead of eating, I went back upstairs. And the moment I stepped out of the elevator, I ran into the CEO of the rival company next door, Pan. His eyes lit up. "Leela, why are you still here this late?" I gave a weak smile. "Had some work to finish." He was shocked. "At this hour? Your boss is too cruel. If you worked for me, I wouldn't make you do overtime. In fact, I'd give you company shares." I almost choked. High salary and shares. Too bad his company was on the verge of bankruptcy. No point jumping ship now. My boss had been eyeing this rival company for years, waiting for the right time to acquire it. And now it was finally struggling. CEO Pan lowered his voice. "Think about it, Leela. If you take my shares and my company gets bought out, your net worth will skyrocket. Boss, hurry up and come back. I'm running out of reasons to stay loyal." Anyway, I gritted my teeth and went back to work, drowning in paperwork until 10 p.m. The next day, I clocked in right on time. Zachary saw me and was visibly disappointed. Everyone else arrives 10 minutes early. You're the only one showing up at the last minute. What if others follow your bad example? Bruh. I didn't even come late, I thought to myself. I rolled my eyes and said, "What, is it a crime now to arrive on time?" His face twisted with rage. Disrespecting a superior? That's another warning. One more and you're gone. Fine. If he wanted war, I'd give him war. I mentally put Zachary on my hit list. When the boss comes back, I'm settling all my old and new grudges at once. Fuming, I ran to HR to dig up some dirt on Zachary's wife. The HR lady just blinked at me in confusion. Zachary had marked married on his paperwork, but his emergency contact wasn't his wife. No useful info. Damn. I left feeling disappointed. Back at my desk, I nearly thought I walked into the wrong office. My whole table was stacked with files. Coworker next to me gave me a look full of pity. "These are all from Zachary," Ting told me apologetically. "Leela, you're gonna have a rough few days. I helped you with some of it yesterday and Zachary found out. He warned me not to help you again or he'd dock my pay." Freaking Zachary. If making people's lives harder was a sport, he'd be the reigning world champion. He dumped a pile of sales data on me, basically every record since the company was founded, and told me to verify and enter it all into the system. By Friday, he was basically trying to kill me. Fine. If he wanted to mess with me, I'd mess with him. I printed out a few stills from a video of him cuddling his side piece in the underground parking lot and paid a delivery guy to send them straight to the company front desk, marked for Zachary's personal receipt. While I was slaving away at my desk, I caught a glimpse of Zachary heading to the front. From my seat, I had a clear view of reception. The delivery guy handed him the envelope and asked him to open it for confirmation. The moment he pulled out the pictures, his face turned pale as hell. But he tried to play it cool, quickly stuffing them back into the envelope before scurrying back to his office and locking the door. That small revenge gave me a nice little boost of serotonin. Zachary stayed holed up in his office for a long time, only emerging when another department needed him for a meeting. The way his eyes darted around at every single person he passed, it was like he suspected everyone in the office was out to get him. When his gaze landed on me, he hesitated for a second longer than usual. So I stared him down. Hard. He looked away fast. Nice. That meant I was off his suspect list. But karma is a bitch, I celebrated too soon. After his meeting, he marched straight to HR and asked where the security camera room was. Said he lost something in the elevator. Yeah, right. I ran to the security room before he could get there and found Lee, the guy in charge of the monitors. I handed him a big bag of snacks, the kind his grandson loved, and showed him a picture of Zachary. If this guy comes asking to see footage, I told him, you never let him in. No matter what. Lee grinned as he took the snacks. Don't worry. If he shows up, he's not even getting past the door. This is why you build connections. I'd spent a ton of time hanging out in the security office, shooting the breeze with the older security guards and janitors. Their drama was better than any TV show, and I got all the gossip. Sure enough, Lee came through. I later saw Zachary storming back, looking pissed as hell, his eyebrows so furrowed they could crush a fly. Nice try, buddy. You won't catch me that easily. Through a brutal week of overtime, I was physically drained but emotionally triumphant. Somehow, I actually finished all the data entry before the Friday deadline. When Zachary came by, probably hoping to nitpick my work, I proudly presented my flawless results. He couldn't find a single mistake. His face was stiff as hell when he finally gritted out, "Keep up the good work." Nice try. But he wasn't done. He was clearly planning to dump more work on me over the weekend. Before he could open his mouth, I faked an urgent bathroom emergency and bolted. As soon as I got home, I passed out and slept for a full day and night. My mom apparently called me a bunch of times, and by the time she was about to file a missing person report, I finally woke up and answered. She was ready to yell at me, but I cut her off first and started ranting about my miserable week as a corporate wage slave. After hearing my sob story, she went from angry to heartbroken. Then, without a word, she hung up. Huh? That's not the reaction I expected. I called her back, but the line was busy. When she finally called me again, the first thing she said was, "I just asked your uncle to do a reading for you. My uncle's into fortune telling. He says you're at a career crossroads. If you make a change, your fortune will rise. If you stay where you are, you'll lose money." Hearing that made my stomach drop. I don't believe in this kind of stuff, but I also don't want to test fate. This is like when people say they don't believe in gods, but if they ever find themselves in front of the god of wealth, they're still gonna light 3 incense sticks and wish for riches. Same vibe as when you're doom scrolling and see a video that starts with, "If this showed up for you, your luck is about to change." Next thing you know, people in the comments are spamming "I receive it" like their hands got possessed. Anyway, one more week until the boss comes back, and I've never felt time move so slowly. Monday rolls around, and for once, I decide to show up 10 minutes early. Look at that, capitalism has me trained like a horse. But hey, early bird gets the worm, right? And boy, did I get a worm. I parked my car, turned off the engine, and bam, a car pulls up right in front of me. And who do I see in the passenger seat? Zachary. For the first time, I'm grateful I installed privacy tint on my car windows. Who do I find driving the car? An absolute stunner. Zachary gets out, all gentle and sweet, telling her to drive safe, calling her wife. Meanwhile, I've been sitting on some dirt about Zachary having a side piece, a male one at that. I was still figuring out how to use this info. What a gift from the gossip gods. Only problem? I have no idea if Zachary's actual wife is the type to believe me, or if she's gonna turn around and sell me out to him. So I make a move, add her on WhatsApp first, observe later. Zachary gets in the elevator. She starts her car. I follow. Lightly top her bumper. Bingo. She stops, I get out, apologize like the most sincere person ever, offer to pay cash right there. Boom, added her on WhatsApp. It's a small price to pay. Meanwhile, Zachary just earned himself another mark in my mental revenge notebook. I get to work right on time. I half expected Zachary to be a petty little shit, but the moment I step in, his eyes go right past me. Dude looks like he just saw a ghost. I turn around. Oh. Yeah, for Zachary, this is pretty much a ghost sighting. His boy toy Benjamin just showed up at the company. And not just for a casual visit. Our lady introduces him as the new sales recruit. Zachary freezes for a solid second before forcing the stiffest smile I've ever seen. Calls over a team lead, makes it look all professional, assigns Benjamin to him. But Benjamin? Oh no, he's staring at Zachary like he's ready to eat him alive. Subtlety? What's that? This is too good. I'm the only one who knows what's up, sitting here enjoying my exclusive tea. And for a while, Zachary's too distracted to make my life miserable. But I underestimated these two. By lunchtime, they've already reached some sort of unspoken agreement. Benjamin stops staring at Zachary like a starved puppy, and Zachary's back to making my life hell. Fast forward to the afternoon, a client's coming in to check out our product. Normally, my job is just to stand there looking pretty and hand stuff over when needed, requiring zero brain power. But 10 minutes before the client arrives, Zachary slaps a paper with multiple addresses in front of me, pulls out a wad of cash and says, "I'm buying afternoon tea for the team. You go get it. Keep the change as your errand fee." Oh, so we're playing that game, huh? I look over at the sales team and we exchange a glance that says it all. This ends today. Either we take him down or we suffer indefinitely. We come up with a plan. When the client arrives, the sales team will pretend to be busy and leave Zachary and Benjamin to handle everything. If they actually close the deal, fine, we'll acknowledge Zachary's skills. But if they screw up, then it's open season on him. But fate had other plans. 10 minutes before the meeting, the sales team group chat starts blowing up. Client is stuck in the elevator with none other than Director Pan from the rival company next door. This is bad. 40 minutes later, when they're finally rescued, the two have gone through a bonding experience straight out of a war movie. Zachary tries to step in and reclaim the client. The client just laughs and says, "Oh, I'm actually heading over to Pan's office." Right as I walk into the lobby, arms full of afternoon tea from the delivery guy, I bump into Director Pan. He insists on helping me carry the drinks. I refuse. He grins and says, "Come on, Leela. If you hadn't conveniently disappeared today, I wouldn't have had the chance to steal your company's client." Oh, and who just happened to overhear that? Zachary. He looks at me like I'm a corporate spy. Is he dumb? Like, does he think I can control elevators now? Back in the office, I make sure to rub salt in the wound. I happily pass out the afternoon tea, then walk up to Zachary, pull out the leftover cash, and say, "Thanks for covering, Zachary. Here's the change you promised me as a delivery fee." His jaw clenches so hard his face practically turns blue. Benjamin can't take it. He jumps in to defend his man. Zachary was already generous enough to buy everyone tea. How could you pocket the extra money? Please shut up. Zachary doesn't even back him up. Just glares at me and says, "Come to my office. Now." I follow him in. He slams the table. "When did you start working with Pan? Oh, so now we're jumping straight to accusations?" I roll my eyes. "I don't work with Pan. He's tried to poach me," I said no. Repeatedly. Zachary doesn't believe me. I heard what he said. And he slams the table again. Unable to remain calm, I shouted, "You think being loud makes you right?" I kick my chair back and slam my hands on the desk. "I already told you the truth. You got a problem with that?" Just as I do that, my chair crashes into the bookshelf behind me with a loud bang. Inside, the sales team hears the commotion and storms in like a SWAT team. They all shouted angrily, "Zachary, how could you hit her?" "Zachary, that's too far." "Zachary, bullying a girl now? Seriously?" Zachary looks like he's about to have an aneurysm. And Benjamin? Oh, this man is about to cry. Benjamin, defending his male lover, retorted back, "You're all ganging up on Zachary." Other department heads eventually have to step in to de-escalate the situation. But this isn't over. Zachary's gonna hold a grudge, and we still have a few more days before the boss returns. So I come up with a new plan. So in my office building, there's this gossip group chat full of security guards and cleaning staff. These older folks have endless energy, and to make some extra cash or just kill time, they take on odd cleaning jobs inside different companies. If there's money involved, no matter how little, they'll jump on it. I posted a job listing in the group. Snap a pic of Zachary and Benjamin in the same frame, $20 per shot. If they're hugging or doing something more intimate, $30 for a pic, $50 for a video. As soon as I sent the message, the group went wild. They'd heard about this kind of gossip before, but never had the chance to witness it firsthand. Their curiosity skyrocketed, and they all eagerly signed up. Less than an hour later, I got my first submission, a video. Zachary and Benjamin were on the rooftop, hugging. Benjamin was holding Zachary like he was the most fragile thing on earth, while Zachary was fuming, cursing my name. Benjamin kept comforting him, and well, the rest of the video? Let's just say it's not safe for work. One of the older ladies who took the video cashed in her $50 bucks and left a review. "Damn, these young folks are wild. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. Hope this is just my imagination." Right away, I printed out the pictures and, just like last time, had a courier deliver them to the front desk, so Zachary could open them right in front of everyone. His face? Priceless. He turned pale immediately, grabbed Benjamin, and they ran off. Not long after, I received a new submission, a photo of them huddled together in the men's restroom, staring at their own leaked pictures. By the time they walked out, my courier was already waiting at the front desk with another envelope. The moment Zachary saw the familiar delivery, his face went from white to ghostly. Benjamin wasn't much better. He yanked the envelope open before Zachary could even react. The second they saw themselves in a picture in the restroom, they panicked. And that's when the real fun began. They became obsessed with finding this spy. They switched up meeting spots, stairwells, the basement, inside a car, elevators, you name it. But no matter where they went, a photo or video would magically appear. What they didn't know was, it wasn't just one person tailing them. It was a whole damn team. Days passed and paranoia set in. They were exhausted, looking over their shoulders constantly. And just when they were at their wits' end, the boss was set to return the next day. Benjamin was losing it. He started clinging to my position, desperate to get me fired before the boss came back. Problem was, I was the last person they could suspect. I always had an alibi whenever they got caught on camera. So even though they knew someone was screwing with them, they had no way to pin it on me. They tried everything to make my life hell, but I just ignored it all. My plan was simple: hold out until the boss returns, then snitch like crazy. But those two? Oh, they had no bottom line. I stepped away to the restroom for 5 minutes. When I got back to my desk, my screen had a company-wide email open. Zachary had issued an official reprimand, calling me out for exceeding the 5-minute bathroom break limit, slamming me for slacking off and neglecting my duties. He basically wrote a whole essay to roast me. I knew he was trying to piss me off on purpose, but damn, I still saw red. Right then, I got a message from Director Pan. "I'll give you 10% equity. Think about it." Turns out my company was in talks to acquire his, and he wanted me to jump ship so he'd have more leverage in negotiations. The deal involved partial equity acquisition, meaning when the two companies merged, I'd still keep my shares, basically becoming a shareholder. No more petty sales managers making my life hell. I thought about it for exactly 2 seconds. "Sorry, boss," I muttered to myself. "It's every girl for herself." I opened a document, typed up my resignation letter, and sent it over to Zachary. Before I could even walk over to his office, I got an instant reply read, "Approved." Wow, that was fast. I packed up my desk, and as I was stuffing my things into a box, my coworkers started freaking out. Coworker A says, "Wait, you're quitting?" Coworker B exclaimed, "This has to be a joke." I refused to believe this. Coworker C cries, "How am I supposed to survive without you?" Coworker D says, "Wait, do you have a new company lined up? If you're leaving, I'm leaving too." Zachary stormed out of his office. "What the hell is going on?" Coworker D snapped back, "You drove away our money-making machine. What do you expect?" Someone else chimed in, "I just bought a new car. Without Leela, I'm screwed. My base salary is only $2,300. How am I supposed to survive?" I walked out of the office, straight into Pan's company, where he was already waiting at the door with a big-ass grin. Meanwhile, Zachary? He was getting cooked. "Leela, you were a spy from the beginning. Admit it," he shouted. "Come on, be for real. What company would intentionally send their star salesperson to help the competition?" Everyone just looked at him like he was an idiot. Director Pan? Oh, he was thriving. He even shook Zachary's hand and thanked him for convincing me to jump ship. Zachary's face went from blue to purple to red. Truly a sight to behold. I secretly messaged my old coworkers, telling them to chill and not resign just yet. I'd be back. That calmed them down, and they happily sent me off. The next day, I ran into my ex-boss, Director Sue, in the parking lot. He was holding a bunch of shopping bags and grinned at me. He lifted up his hands and said, "These are for you." Before I could decline, Pan showed up, shook Director Sue's hand, and started singing my praises. It wasn't until we reached our respective office doors that Director Sue finally realized I wasn't walking into his company. "Leela, that the wrong way. Come back." Pan, still smiling, said, "No mistake. She joined us yesterday." Director Sue blurted out aloud, "What?" His hands loosened and the shopping bags dropped to the floor. He was momentarily stunned. After coming into the office, he was met with an hour-long vent session from my ex-coworkers. By the end of it, Director Sue was fuming. "Zachary, you piece of I'm gonna kill you." Asterisk. Apparently, he nearly did. Took several big guys to hold him back. Both Zachary and Benjamin are fired on the spot. And just like that, balance was restored. A month later, the acquisition was complete. I moved back to my old office, only now I was a shareholder. Now my boss Sue was more than happy for me to return, and as a shareholder, I have more incentive to stay in the company to line our pockets even more. Belinda, happy to see me back, exclaimed, "Leela, you have no idea. I haven't closed a single deal since you left." Director Sue, now visibly traumatized, "Never again. I'm never ghosting the company during acquisition talks again." Oh, and as a bonus, Zachary's ex-wife texted me. She successfully divorced him and took him to the cleaners.